Bust those masks, rush them, now they fast. Gushing quick cash, clutching, now they have nothing. Tip of the top, cream of the crop, give me the rock. I'm faking them out, I'm making the shot. I'm waking the crowd, making them loud, shaking the foundation. It's motivation, not complacent, I'm racing. Bird rubber, turn gutter, vocal cords and words.
And welcome to USL After Dark, where we talk about topics that other people are scared to talk about. I'm your host, Kevin. Alongside with me tonight, our USL After Dark veteran, Pistor. What's up, Pistor?
Hello.
And brand new to the show, we have The Mountain.
How's it going?
And Mecca.
Howdy.
And we lost our other host, some of you may know, to the corporate machine, but we move on. Tonight, we'll do a recap of Week 1 matches, go through some topics, and do our bottom 3 players. Probably our favorite thing to do on USL After Dark. So let's sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and we'll dive into the USL season. With our recap, let's see, we had our first match was Cocaine versus Macro. Interesting match, in my opinion. I was in that game. It was 37-29 in favor of Cocaine. MVP being... who's MVP? I don't even know. Pistor, who was our MVP? The Mountain. Perfect. All right,
Mountain.
excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So I'll have you talk about this match since you were the leader, you're the captain. Let's hear your words on Cocaine versus Macro, real quick.
Yeah, we definitely underestimated them, and we just simply pushed them without getting the proper angles. We just thought that from our previous SPs that we had with them, we always beat them by like 60, 70 or so. Like during one SV we had, it was like 140 to like under 10, I believe, or something like that. And we thought we could mimic that during the match. But yeah, that Ripper was holding us back. We just kept pushing. I kept telling the team to like just push, and we're just getting picked off one by one.
Yeah, Exodus was definitely doing it to us. I think we gotta write his name down. Definitely next time we play him.
Yeah, he's getting
Mountain,
marked.
Yeah, for sure. Mountain, what do you think about that game? You were in it as well, Cocaine versus Macro.
Yeah, I think for that game, the Ripper was definitely affecting everything. And I think it was stopping a lot of us from pushing onto him. Some people wanted to commit, some people didn't. But he held Ripper really, really well. I do think, I would say Ripper is a really bad setup for them right now. And I know it's really good for them to hold as a Ripper, but the good teams are just going to pick the Ripper apart at some point, right? Yeah, I mean, Angelus, our user, played very good. Exodus played very good, especially for, what was his first match for them, for USL. And Designer played really good as medic. He was really hard to kill, so yeah, really good for the CTF guys there. Just starting to.
Yeah, definitely newcomers coming to the league and playing well. Mecca, you're an outsider looking in. What did you think of that match? You were able to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube yesterday or the day before. I agree with you guys. I think you guys really underestimated them. I think they had a chance I think when they replay you, I should say, they have a better chance to beat you because they'll get better, but also you guys won't underestimate them, so maybe not. But definitely a good showing from them. Yosh was leading very well, and Chompy played Ranger pretty well. I still not sold on Ranger. I think if Chompy's LMG or Marine, they have a better chance to beat you there. But yeah, overall, great showing from them.
Yeah, I think player we didn't mention was Albert. Albert going 8-4, veteran of USL. I think him and Yosh obviously are the most games played, I would assume. Yosh only going 2-4 doesn't help. He played Nader. I don't know what he's doing playing Nader. Probably to combat me, but is what it is. But yeah, the Ripper was insane. Exodus did a fantastic job. So let's dive into the next game we had was K-Dude versus Dark Slayers. I believe K-Dude took that. It was 51-22 with the MVP being Colossal. Pistor, I'll start with you. What did you think about that match? It was K-Dude Dark Slayers.
So I went in and out during the match. I believe at a certain point Dark Slayer was winning by like maybe like 3 or less. 51-22 is still very, very close. With the current lineup that K-Dude has, my expectations was maybe 80 plus to like 30 or even 40. But having this type of score is definitely, I'm not sure what's happening with K-Dude right now.
Yeah, you think they could have won by more? Is what you're saying?
Uh,
Or
yeah,
you don't think
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, they did have a point where they just stared at each other for 5 minutes. So I don't know what they were thinking. Like, did they just? They could. Yeah, you're right. They could have won by like 50, 60 if they really wanted to. I don't know why they don't try to do that because you never know with playoff implications. But that's how they played it out. Mountain, what was your take on K2 Dark Slayers?
I watched the beginning of this match for about 15 minutes. All I remember was Kago just absolutely destroying the players on K-Dude in the beginning, and it kept the game very close. And then I think by midway, the game just started getting out of control when they took the bottom angle against Dark Slayers there. But yeah, I remember Kago was doing really good. Foster was leading. The Meds played all right. I think it was just mostly positional issues. Especially if they have the bottom and you can't keep forcing on a good team like that. But yeah, K2 turned it around and then the score just got away at about halfway.
Yeah, Kaga's definitely a deadly LMG. And this is a returning squad, no Manu, so that kind of hinders their ability to have a leadership. Faso, I know, can lead. But Mecca, what'd you see with this one, K2 Dark Slayers?
I was actually going to mention Manu. I think if they have Manu, this game's a lot closer. The extra voice is always good. Flymolo and Fausto and King will always talk, but the extra voice always does help, especially an established leader like Manu. I don't know. I mean, Typhoon going 1-8 kills you. Brillheart 2-6 is just, they had a lot of dumb deaths, and I think it was all about positioning. Again, this is another match I'd like to see in a rematch, without with a little bit more experience and Manu in there, because I think this is K-Dude's best lineup against Dark Slayer's, second or third best lineup. So if everything's equal, I would like to see this, because remember, Dark Slayers did a really good job against Birds last year in the playoffs, only losing by 1. So I think it would be a way more competitive match with Manu in there.
Yeah, Typhoon was their top killer last season. Going 1-8 doesn't help. I think he died first like 5 battles in a row. I was watching that. It's just every time he would solo and then dead, solo, dead, and then he would go with the team, dead. It was just not a good look, or not a good week for Typhoon. No, he's a good guy. He's a good player. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But next we had Franco versus Evolution, where it was kind of a blowout. We had Franco Tiradores 83-34, with the MVP being Stavidine Pistor. You watched that match? What'd you think?
Yeah, I really didn't watch this match, but I know Phlow did well here as Ripper. And yeah, that's, I don't
Yeah,
want to
nobody else,
talk
right?
too
Yeah.
much about it. Yeah.
Mountain, what'd you think of this game? You watch it at all?
I did watch it, and I think the game was pretty close in like the first 10 minutes, and then just went out of control, and Phlow started like stat padding, and I think Jim got specced at one point for lag or something, but he was doing really well in the beginning. Really can't say too much about Evolution. I mean, I would probably do more practicing and get the basics down. But yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say on that.
Yeah, definitely. Phlow went off. It was good to see. But
Oh,
Mecca, you're Pistor. Go ahead.
I just remembered something during this match. Yeah, that Mountain brought up that someone crossed rape lines. So Spark crossed rape lines. Someone else crossed rape lines on Evolution.
Abyss. Yep.
Abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as per the rules, the captain is responsible to relay all of the rules so that no rules are broken during the match.
The
So
captain
this
being the
falls
admin of the league, just adding that to the table.
exactly. So this kind of falls on him. Not sure why he didn't actually tell his. Like, of course, they did it by mistake. Spark, I don't think he ever played before. Abyss, same thing. But yeah, it's his responsibility as per the rules, of course. Like obviously, in my opinion, it would have been on the players, but as per the rules, it says it falls on the captain.
Were they
Yeah,
like
no,
pinned to the? Were they pinned to the base rape line or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were,
yeah.
and they just fell back a little bit.
Like they definitely
Well,
crossed. They definitely crossed back.
Spark crossed like quite a bit. He took quite a few steps back from the rape lines.
Yeah, I know it is a rule though. You got to hold standards to everybody. Like you can't. You gotta put that in their heads. Like if you cross and cross back, you gotta respect. It's across the board. If you don't spec one person, you spec another person, then somebody's gonna flip a shit. That's my opinion on that. But Mecca, this is your squad, or you just joined Franco.
Mhm.
How'd you guys? How do you think your guys played?
Yeah, I definitely agree. They definitely played way better in the second half. Obviously, the specking for crossing the game was already over, so I didn't think it had much impact. The one thing I would say is the gym spec seemed, I don't know, it seemed weird to me. Everybody knows gym's lagging. It's a blowout game. I was looking at the tape and it didn't look like he was any laggier than normal, so I didn't really understand that. I don't know. I thought it was a little petty, if you ask me, but other than that, yeah, I think it's a routine game, and I don't think the result is a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, it is a little bit tough to play from Australia, have a 250 ping consistently, and then try to play on Sundays. But you did say something, Mecca, earlier off air that he might be able to fix that in some way. Is that
Yeah, he
possible, you
started playing
think?
on a VPN in accordance to Darth Joven's advice. And last night during the last SB we had, it seemed like it was a lot better. I'm watching him in pub now too, and it's a lot less laggier. His bullets come out closer to his body, and I think that was the big issue. It looked like he was lasering, but I also think MP5 is just so fast. He gets exasperated by lag. So I think if he's playing Marine, he probably doesn't even get spec'd. But hopefully with his new VPN, Jim can play because he was definitely not happy about getting spec'd and pretty depressed about it. So hopefully he can play some more games this season.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was him and Phlow. I think they were both had 6 kills, like 10 minutes in. So they were the top two killers at that moment. And then it's unfortunate that he gets spec'd for lag. It was laggy, yes. Did it have to be done? Probably not. But it's the other team's responsibility to call that out, and they did. And it's part of the rules. So visual lag is the thing. But we move on to the match of the week last week, which was Cocaine versus K-Dude. Maybe surprising to some, but not to others. But Cocaine came out victorious, 44-21, with the MVP of Sav. Pistor, you were the captain and the leader of that game. Want to talk about it?
Yeah, I gave MVP to Sav just because the couple nights before he showed me how to actually beat TG. So that's why I gave him MVP. But all jokes aside, like we played great. We had a lot of people are saying that we actually camped. I don't think we really camped the whole match. We might have camped within the 1 minute rule, of course. We might have camped certain sections of the map, but most of the time we were actually pushing them. So if I remember correctly, the first battle we saw Saf come in through like the middle choke, and just the way he was actually coming in, I automatically knew that he had a flank team either through West Mid or through our base, and that's how we were able to catch the 3 all the way on the left side. We got the 3 easy kills that way. Then we ended up pushing, I think, to South Rocks. We caught TG off guard over there too. And then once we were in rocks, we pushed left when we saw they had numbers on east, and we just pushed out of rocks going west, and yeah, pretty much that was it. And then we did do a snake play down south by our base, but we played well, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't do camping. We stayed on our side. We were in the rocks. We were in mid. We were at their east mid. I don't think that was camping. Just a little side note I like to see is that nobody on K Dude went positive or even. Everybody was negative on K Dude, which is a sight I have never seen for all of these players. But Mountain, you were in this game. You went 8-4. How'd you see it?
Well, I only saw it from one angle, which was the top angle, right? Most of the fights, and I mean, their solars they're pretty much out of position most of the time. Um, I think Eric is having a really rough season, just from me looking at his stats. Um, and I don't think him and the TG combo work very well on the north side. Um, the whole fight, it was just like on the top side of them rotating into, our side with Eric, TG, and I forget who their meta is, but basically they ran into ISO, Ninja, and myself almost every time on the north side, and then Pistor coming for support. So you have a huge mismatch in fighters right there, right? And then I think we kind of talked about before the match about what they were going to do, and almost every single play we guessed correctly what they were going to do for every play. For example, like the Rocks play, we were even talking about it and literally played out how we were talking about during the match, right? So yeah, I think we played really well. Our starting lineup is very good. I think K-Dude maybe they just have a bad match, especially when you're pushing all the time into really good players. It's really hard if you can't get it going right. But I think maybe next week they'll pull something out there.
Yeah, I mean, a weird thing to see was Sav playing LMG. I know their normal LMG wasn't there for them. ISO, he's with us now. I think that's a huge part of it. Like Sav went 3-5 at LMG. I don't think ISO goes 3-5 as LMG on K Dude. That's like it's an overpowered class. How would Sav go 3-5? That's crazy.
And they switch classes.
Yeah,
and they switch classes.
I know. Yeah, Ernie, I think started off as demo as he always does. Nas was Ripper for some reason. Like that stopped really quick. That was like 2 battles. Like, all right, you got to change. But Mecca, outsider looking in. How did you were able to watch this one? Hopefully.
Yeah, I watched this one. I thought it was pretty hilarious. The USL Live boys said K-Dude was the most stacked squad of all time, and then they lose week 1. I just think I love parody in the league, and I think that's hilarious. I think you're right on the chemistry issues. Some of these guys haven't played together in a long time or ever. Like I know Ernie's never played with Sov, so there's stuff like that. I would think with no actual insider information, I bet one of the biggest problems was communication on this game because every single person that's unspec talks, and that's not always a good thing when you have 8 people talking. So I don't know if it's established that Sov's leading or established that TG's leading, but if one's leading, the other one's talking, and then everybody else talks as well. I know a couple seasons ago on ATW when we had Jeff and everybody, there was just a lot of talking, and sometimes that's a detriment. I think that combined, and also the camping thing. Yeah, I mean, you guys did camp at the end and ran some plays, but you ran the exact same play against Sparta last season, so they should have been prepared for that. I'm pretty sure Sov top Pistor that one, so he should have been expecting it. And then 2 of the battles you guys won were in East Mid. So yes, you guys camped, but it's not like you didn't go on their side of the map or win a battle on their side of the map, because you absolutely did. So kudos to you guys for that. And then also, yeah, getting Ninja and ISO. I don't think these lineups are that different. I think they have, despite what Kevin says about the medics, I think K-Dude has a better med duo, but it's probably not as far away as I think now, because Fax has not played med in a few seasons, and I did not think he played well at all. So it'd be interesting. I don't think they're going to shake up the lineup at all. It'll be interesting, and I think we'll talk about it later. If Champ shows up, what's going to happen? But I think K-Dude will recover, and I don't know what map you guys play on against next, but I think they'll come more ready to play next, like not starting Ripper. I don't understand the Ripper start from Nos, and I also think it's funny that after that loss, you see all of these K-Dude guys playing pub now. Never played pub, and now they're like in pub 24/7 trying to get warmed up because they don't want to get. I think it was kind of embarrassing for them, so I think they're trying to get warmed up during the week. They can't just not play all week when you guys are the most active squad and expect to just walk over you.
Yeah, it's a good thing to hear. But it was probably a great week one, like K-Dude goes down to us, so now they're gonna start playing more. Macro plays an outstanding game against us. They're on a high right now as well, beating or close to beating us as the number 2 preseason ranked squad, now in season ranked 1. So it's a great week one that we had, for sure.
Can I say something on Mecca?
Oh yeah, go
on
ahead.
Mecca's comment.
Absolutely.
Like this K2 team isn't like, it's kind of like a mixed bag of things, like what Mecca just said, because you kind of gutted both the Warhawks and the ATW team, right? You took out ESO, Legacy's gone, who was their battle opener. Soul is gone, Kaga's gone. So you have like neutral Marines, and I mean Sov has really good leading, but if you took that away, the battle opening isn't as good as you'd think it should be. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a fair point. Legacy did just join Macro, so that actually boosts them insanely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a fair point that, like, they have killers, but who's gonna open up that battle? Like Jeff opened up against Dark Slayers, but he did nothing in this game. He's a great player. Doesn't make mistakes. But who's that? Who's gonna be that guy? I guess we'll find out in the weeks to come.
So is Macro still consider a CTF squad after picking up Legacy, after picking up Staley?
Fair point. I think we'll have to see who they start.
I think the CTF thing we need to phase out because there's not going to be any pure CTF teams anymore. And half these guys have played CTF before, and then they picked up a bunch of SKers. So, you could still consider Dark Slayers and Macro CTF squads, but I think with all the infusion, that they're just a squad at this point.
Yeah, I think after all the pickups they had, yeah, they're just squads for sure. Anything else on week one? Anybody have anything? Or are we ready to move on to our next little topic? No? Okay, cool. All right, we have our USL After Dark. Our main topic, what we go through, is the bottom 3 players from the week. Again, this criteria doesn't have to say the worst squad, the worst player, the worst medic. It's whatever you think. It can be everything. It could be communication. It could be leadership. It could be anything. So, bottom 3 players. Pistor, let's hear bottom 3 from week 1.
Sure. So I'm gonna go with Typhoon, going 1-8 as Marine. Dark Slayers definitely needed his firepower to get some kills and potentially make the match closer. Second one, I'm gonna say TG, having a stack squad. Him saying he had a stack squad and not leading the correct way. I kept seeing TG pushed from the top. Not sure why he kept doing that. Maybe have one solo from the top is fine, but he always had like at least 3 or 4 on the top. That's not, in my opinion, something good to do. And the third, I'm gonna give it to myself. I should have led better against MR. Definitely, I should have led better against MR. Not underestimate them. Once we lost 2 battles, I should have changed my leading completely instead of I kept repeating myself. Find them and push them. So yeah, gonna give it to myself.
Nah, that's kind of crazy. You can't call yourself. You beat K-Dude. But I digress. All right, Mountain, who are your bottom 3 players from week 1?
Okay, I'm probably gonna get in a little bit of trouble of this, but
I like it.
we'll go through it. So the first person I would have to agree at, it would be Typhoon. 1-8 is not acceptable when you're playing a really good team. I don't know if he was leading or like what was going on, but yeah, you just can't play it like that. If you're getting picked off a lot, you gotta just slow it down a little bit. The second person I'm going to say is Danny. Even though he's on my team. maybe he's rusted or something, but feels like he's been slumping for maybe like the past month. Against the macro data team, he didn't play too well, but so I would have him as number 2. And then number 3 on my list, I would say, is Colossal Jeff. In the the big match against good players, you're getting picked off constantly. I know like there was a bunch of times he got picked off from, I believe, Pistor side. Like they just saw him in the open, and then just everyone focus fired him out. So for a self-proclaimed person that plays very well to do so poorly against good teams, step it up, right? But those are the 3 people I have.
So yeah, fair bottom 3. Mecca bottom 3 last week.
Yeah, it's gonna sound a lot similar. Typhoon obviously 1 and 8. Don't need to expand upon that anymore. I'm gonna throw Ernie in here. I think the issue with Ernie is that the past couple seasons he's been playing more of a support role on Birds with Rio and TG shot calling and everything, and Rio being able to really handle the load, or Kaga before that. So I by the end of the season, you're going to see Ernie return to form as one of the best Marines, if not the best Marine in the game. But I think that needs to happen quick. He needs to go more aggressive into the just pure killer role instead of like a more of a support role. And then the third person I had was the combo of TG and Fax. The BFFs. I think Fax played pretty poorly. TG pushed some really dumb shit. And I think you could tell by his play, he was playing Madcorn, which we used to call him. When he starts losing, he just kind of gets upset and it affects his gameplay. I think he just can't be like that on this squad. He just has to have faith that, with all those good players that they can take back over. And then, Fax hasn't met it in so long. Again, I think, they're both like what I said about Ernie. By the end of the season, they should return to form, but they got to do it quick or this could go poorly for them.
Fair. Again, Typhoon, obviously, for me, like the number 1 and 8. Like I know he'll come around and step it up. He finds his games where he bounces back, gets the kills, but yeah, 1 and 8 in a game where they needed you. Another one from a bottom 3, I think Yosh playing Grenadier. Doesn't help if you're leading playing Grenadier. I don't see where that comes in handy. I know maybe he's trying, like I said before, trying to like combat me as a Grenadier, or he sees that it definitely helps. It can break open battles for sure. Like you get that one-shot kill, and then battle can be won very easily. But it didn't help him going 2 and 4. Another bottom 3. I have Chompy in there. Chompy going 4 and 5 as Ranger. I think we've talked about this in the recap. If he plays Marine or LMG, I think if he plays LMG, he could be a top killer. He could be that Kaga for these guys, or that ISO that gets the kills, has a great stream, keeps everybody just in his stream at all times. I think he's got to think about doing that. The Ranger class can be okay on certain maps. Maybe he'll figure out what maps are good to play it as, but Ranger on EC, I don't think is a thing that's gonna work out. So that was a good bottom 3. Everybody had Typhoon. I'm sure he'll listen to this and say, "Oh shit, I gotta step it up." But we'll go into a little quick topic of playoff format. So we have playoff format where everybody makes it. We're gonna try to, from what Bowen said, play, I guess, the first round, which is kind of suitable. It's March Madness going on right now. But first round is going to be during the week, hopefully on maybe a Saturday, or I guess whenever they can figure out a schedule when we get to that point. And then in the second round will be Sunday, where the 1 and 2 seeds get a bye, and then they'll play the number 1 seed plays the lowest seed remaining, then the number 2 seed plays the next seed that's available. And the final round is playing that Sunday night, so it'll be 3 games on a Sunday, 2 games during the week. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that too much? Is that too little? Should it just be 4? Pistor, what do you think? Go ahead.
I personally don't like it. It should have never been all squads to make it to playoffs. It should have been the first 4, like always. We always been doing it this way. No idea why he recently changed it to this setup, but Bowen will do, I guess, what he thinks is right, which is fine, I guess. But I personally don't like it. Another thing I don't like is that he increased the roster to 17 people. Should have, if he's increasing it, then he should have changed the minimum of players allowed. So instead of 8, he should have moved it to 9. With doing that, I would have been fine with it, but him going 17, he pretty much, if everybody shows up, he pretty much saying that 8 people are only gonna play, and the remaining are gonna stay in spec and not be able to play or play at 15, right? So, and most of the time, all squads, even last week, even his own squad that he had, I think like 12 or 13 players, they only wanted to go 8 also versus back squad. And when we asked MR, they also wanted to go 8. So it's not like they're trying to get players in. They're just trying to get more roster space for their friends, I guess. Which is fine.
Yeah, I think that's what it really is. I think they're trying to just have people are feeling, they want to feel included. They don't want to feel. I think some people join knowing they're not going to play, just to be on the squad. I have no problem with that. And I think 8's just standard. But Mountain, what do you think about the playoff situation that was announced today? You like it?
You know what? I liked the 6 in the beginning of the season, but now that I actually think about it, the amount of teams in the playoffs should be 5. And why I say that is, does Evolution deserve to be in the playoffs when the players don't improve? That's kind of what's like what I think about for that, because let's be honest, so far their performance has been really bad. Their record's really bad, and really no one's improving on that team, right? So I'm all for the CTFers to make it because it's their first time, but for Evolution, a lot of them have played multiple seasons. If you can't make it at this point, then number 5 seed should make it, but number 6 should get eliminated. That's what I think about it. And then I believe it's a Saturday game, right, for the double 2 game.
I think they're going to be able to choose if Saturday suits them best. Then yes.
You know what? Like for that, I honestly don't think it should be on a Saturday because, again, like some of these bottom teams like Evolution, are people really gonna go watch them versus the 3rd or 4th place team? Probably not, being honest. Most likely, if you run a doubleheader on Sunday, most people are gonna go see the other game for 5 versus 4. So technically, you could fit it all in a Sunday, right, and not have the games played on a Saturday.
All right, interesting take. Mecca, playoff thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think 5 is the way to go. Just do a play-in game, 5 versus 4, because when you include all 6, I get the sentiment because he wants everybody to play playoffs, but when you're including every squad in the league in the playoffs, then what's the point of playing the regular season? You might as well just skip to an end-season tournament, right? It kind of just, and especially, not to harp on cocaine again, or sorry, evolution again, but I mean, I don't think they're going to be competitive, and I think the distance between 5 and 6, whoever ends up 5, and then evolution is going to be huge. It's I don't know. It's like making the 3rd place team play an extra game. So I would much rather see 5 people with a play-in game 4 versus 5, or 5 squads 4 versus 5 play-in game.
I kind of like it. Everybody gets involved. That 3-4 matchup, though, I think that's going to be the game to watch. Obviously, the 4-5. That's going to be the game to watch.
But you could have that
Whether
with a
it's
5-team playoff.
Yeah, I mean, because then it makes sense. Because if you get that 3 seed, then you're almost solidified because you play the 3-6. So
Right. So what's the point of playing the 3-6?
The 3
Basically, all it does
3-6,
is it
I think you
pushes
want that.
the game
I want to
week
see
day.
that. I want to see that 4-5. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if you do 5, do 4-5 play-in, and then you
and
can
then you
do
have
everything on
one seed
Sunday.
being a bye, or just 4-5 playing is what you're saying.
4-5 playing to see who gets in
And
the
then
playoffs.
okay,
Yeah, like a qualifier.
And then 1 plays the winner, and 2 plays 3.
yeah.
Because then you could do everything
trying
on
to do it all in
Sunday.
1 week, I guess. Like
Yeah, because now
one
we have
day.
to schedule on a Saturday or a Thursday or something, which is not always easy for people, even though everybody's on all the time. But shit
Everybody's
comes
on all
up.
the time. They could do it on like a Thursday if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I see that point. That's a fair point actually. But like this way, it does include everybody. It doesn't matter if anybody watches. I don't think that matters because everybody's gonna watch this Sunday. That's the real playoffs. The play-in is like a play-in, or this is kind of like the play-in. Nobody watches that on March Madness anyway, so it's like the same thing here. Nobody's gonna watch a play-in except for the players or diehard fans or whatever. But I think either way is okay. You guys make a fair point where if you do 5, that works too. Pistor's point 4. Then you're leaving out a couple squads. You're leaving out probably either Franco or Macro, or maybe even Dark Slayers. You never know how Macro's
Well,
going to be later
that
on in the season.
motivates them to play better throughout the season, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
they definitely nobody wants to be left out, but that just makes them play smarter, I guess, too.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely going to be a tight knit. That 3-4-5 is going to be tight knit. I think 1-2. I think is almost solidified for the most part. But yeah, 3-4-5 is going to be interesting to see in the coming weeks. So the playoff format's already there. I don't think you can change it now. You just got to deal with it. Anything else from week 1 or playoff format that you guys got before we move on to next week matches? All right, I'll take that silence as a no. So we have next week matches. First one on the docket is Franco versus Cocaine. I'm going to start with this one. It's a good match. We have another match that I think is going to be match of the week, but we have Franco versus Cocaine Pistor. You are the captain, the leader of Cocaine. How do you think this is going to go down?
I'm gonna wait for their Utah 36 or 34, however Bax calls it. They're most likely gonna be ambushing somewhere. But once we take the lead, we're gonna just run with it. I know Mecca. Are you leading this? Are you starting to lead or
Undecided.
okay?
It's kind of up in the air.
So I believe week 1 Pandy led with the help of I guess others too. So maybe Pandy will lead again, or maybe Mecca will step in and start leading them. I know Bax can't lead, so but he'll have at least one play ready to go.
Yeah, Bax is good to lead for like 5 minutes, right?
Not even like 3 minutes. First
3 minute leader.
first battle, and if they don't go that way, he's like, I'm done.
I'm done. Pandy, take over.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else from that one? Winner or loser?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna win. Obviously, I'm not gonna underestimate them from the start, like I did to MR last week. But yeah, they have backs in, so shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, true, fair. All right, Mountain, what do you take? You're in this game.
I think this game's gonna be very close, maybe by like 5, 6, 7 points or something like that. And the only reason I say that is because again, Mecca is coming back, and I think the other players, if they're not leading, it kind of gives them a big boost. You know, when you don't lead, you have you can focus more on playing and stuff like that. And I think the other factor kind of depends on how Bax plays. You know, is Bax going to run it down center, just W King 2 people with the LMG, or is he going to, you know, play with the team? I don't know. So I guess that kind of depends on it. I think H and Jim, I think they'll turn out to be really, really good players, but I think they need maybe half a season or, you know, a little bit more time to kind of fit into playing with a pretty decent team to get past the good stage of play. So yeah, I think the game will be close. I think it'll probably be like 30-22 or something like that. I think it'll be a slow paced game for both teams.
Yeah, definitely some wild pickups this week. I know there was Apollo, there was there was Mecca. So I'm interested to see the lineup that they have. Actually, does Bax stay loyal to his players? Maybe Mecca can go more in depth into this on who's starting, how you guys think it's going to play out. Go ahead, Mecca.
That was going to be my main point. Who shows to this match? Because we have a few people that are kind of maybes, including myself. I might have something to do on Sunday. I haven't figured it out yet. Probably will tonight. So it does depend on lineups because I think if it's no me, Stav or Stav or Sabotage, you guys might have a chance to run away with it. But if you think the three of us show, I think it's going to be like Mountainside a lot closer. I think you guys probably do pull out the win. I do think it's going to be a little bit closer than people expect because we're not going to run it down. I will tell Bax not to run it down. So
But is he going to
doing
listen?
that. Yeah, he will. And besides lineup, it's about classes too. What classes we decide to play. A lot of SPs I've seen this week. If I haven't SP'd too much with the guys, but they've been playing some weird classes against good teams, and like we got blown out twice by K-Dude and SPs, but we were playing like AT, Nader, shit like that, which will not happen on the Sunday. So I'm trying to get them to kind of practice as you play. It's fine to play those classes, and it works against similar talented squads or squads that you're clearly better than. But you're not going to be able to run Nader, Ripper, AT versus you guys or K-Dude. It's just not going to work. And nowhere should you want to play that way because, if you get down, you're not going to be able to push and then you're going to switch classes and it's a whole thing. So it will depend on lineup, but I think I will give you guys the edge here. If I don't show, I think it's going to be Pandy probably playing.
Will you guys pick up Iceman? Mecca?
According to Bax, no.
Okay. But
Apparently
what about
Bax and
according to Apollo?
Iceman have it. Paul said he didn't care, and
Oh, okay.
Bax has a blood feud with Iceman apparently, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. It's not really room for him anyways. We're kind of like stacked to the gills. We have 15 already, so.
Are you going to play Apollo?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like, I have a question. Since you're back, of course you're going to be starting. So what's your starting lineup look like now?
Oh, let me look. Let me pull up our squad.
Probably depends on who shows, but
it does depend on who shows. But if you're asking for the ideal lineup, it's
your A lineup.
Like Bax, Pandy, me, Hop, Sabo. At this point, Phlow or Oct. I would give the edge to Phlow right now, but Oct is also a very good player. He's kind of been having a down couple weeks playing Nader and stuff, but I think he is talented, and he also doesn't care about starting, so that's good. And then Meds, ideally, we would do Stav and probably Cave this week. But Apollo did say he did want to. He would be willing to play Med. So I think if Caved is having a bad game, I wouldn't mind subbing in Apollo for him. Or once Apollo gets back into the swing of things, starting him over Caved, I think is fine too. So I think you're going to see a few different combinations. We're going to see kind of what works throughout the weeks, but it'll be some iteration of that by the end of the season.
Yeah, it's a big what if or who shows for you guys, I think.
Exactly,
yeah.
I think Sabo's still on vacation, so we probably won't have him this week.
Yeah, he's the big one. He's the leaner that gives you guys like more kills, higher edge for sure.
Yeah.
You obviously too. But I see us. I'm gonna tell Pistor right now. We're putting the pedal to the metal. We're not stopping. We're putting Bax. I don't see him getting more than 5 kills this game.
Ooh.
I don't care what we'd have to do.
Ooh.
He's marked.
This guy.
We're marking him
for this guy the entire time. He is
you
not gonna do shit. This guy gets more than 5 kills. I'm benching everybody for the next week. I don't care what happens.
Real quick on lineups.
That's fine.
Are you guys gonna play your best lineup, or are you gonna?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if ESO and Ninja show, are you gonna play them? Or are you gonna play Danny and Leak, or how's that gonna work?
No, we're playing our best players from the week. That's what we've said in our little chat and cocaine. But
like whoever performs best that week is gonna play.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we decided.
A good way to do it.
Yeah, like everybody shows up for us, so it's not a hey, this guy didn't show up. Why is he playing? Like even Iso's been showing up. We thought he would be a Sunday only player, but he's been SBing with us. Him, even CC said I'm only showing Sundays. He's logging in every night, so that's always good to see. But yeah, we're putting the pedal to the metal. We're gonna try and win by 60. That's our goal for sure.
Yeah.
So that was Franco versus Cocaine. Next we have 2 games with Evolution. Evolution Dark Slayers, Evolution K Dude. I don't know if we have to go too in depth into this tough week for Evolution. You guys have anything? I guess we can do your little thing. Pistor, go ahead. 2 matches with Evolution. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Dark Slayers will win and K-Dude will win.
Great breakdown, Mountain.
Yeah, I agree too.
Even better breakdown.
Mecca.
The only thing I would add is probably pick up some of these guys for your fantasy teams. Especially Dark Slayers because they play Evolution and Macro Data. Not that Macro Data is going to be a stat pad, but 2 games and with a stat pad in there, I expect to see a lot of teams have a lot of Dark Slayers players. But they're kind of weird with their lineups, so it's kind of tough because they like to spread playtime, so be careful of that, but that's really all I got to say about those matches.
Yeah, definitely fantasy implications there. Dark Slayers, 2 matches. Don't know who he's going to play. Probably got to play Havoc for sure if he is going to be metting. Maybe Tyrael is going to be in both games. But next we have our match of the week. I think this one's going to be a good one. It is. Let me get it down. Macro Data versus Dark Slayers. Both CTF squads. I hear some. Oh, we stopped that. No longer CTF squads. Both actual skirmish league squads. But I know there's some drama. I'm sure we'll get to that with who hates who and all that. But let's start with Pistor. What do you think the outcome is going to be for Macro Data Refinement versus Dark Slayers?
So before they picked up Legacy and Staley, I would have said Dark Slayers. Now that they picked both of them up, I'm gonna have to go with a Macro. And the reason too is Yosh is most likely gonna be in there. And it's gonna play it slow. And Dark Slayers is just gonna get impatient and start pushing. Especially if Kaga shows, he just doesn't like camping at all. He just wants to push constantly. He might just troll a little on their chat, on their voice, and they're just gonna start pushing. They're gonna fall into bad chokes, and they're gonna start losing battles, not recover, and Macro's gonna get their first win. Hopefully, Albert shows up. For them, Ruler also. So yeah.
Yeah, Albert's a competitor. I'm sure he'll be there. He won't miss this. Can Fausto control Kaga? That's another question. We'll have to find out. But Mountain, what do you see with this one? Dark Slayers Macro.
I like how Macro has gotten much better. Looks like their players know where to sit in chokes and things like that. Angelus and RUs are getting better, and Exodus. Dark Slayers, I think they've kind of stagnated. But I don't mean like they're playing bad, but it seems like they've reached a ceiling on their playstyle. I think for this match, I have Dark Slayers to win it. And why I say that is because I think Macro Data's strategy is not going to work here because their first game, if you get the first kill, you can kind of sit back. You get the Ripper there sitting. It's hard to push into. I don't think Dark Slayers are going to push into them constantly like, a top tier team is going to to push into them. I think if Dark Slayers gets the lead at some point, they're just going to pull it back to their baselines. And, is Macro Data good enough to push into a team now? I don't think they are at this point. Even though they have Rio there, I just don't see it happening. So I think Dark Slayers will probably win by 20 points. And I think if Manu shows up, then you're going to see a big blowout for this game because Manu's strategy is very ambush campy. And to push into his plays are, it's very, very difficult to get into it and break it properly because he's a good Madden player. Yeah, I think Chompy shouldn't play Ranger anymore just because it has limitations. As for me playing it on Sunday, it's really hard to hit players from far away, and you can kind of see it in Chompy's stats. So hopefully he switches to LMG or Marine. And I would say for Dark Slayers, I don't know if both teams are going to run a Ripper because they seem to be running Rippers. I don't know why the CTF players like Ripper so much. The meta for Ripper is really bad. You know, with the Ripper, the Ripper sits in the back, takes a huge amount of damage, and then the Med goes and runs and heal him. And then you have the two Marines or whoever's in the front taking a massive amount of damage with no Med there. Both of these teams seem to like support classes. I don't know why CTFers do, but I don't know if it's going to work here if you're losing and you're pushing into a team. So, but yeah, to summarize everything, I think Darkslayers will pull this out, and I don't think it's going to be close if Macrodata has to push into them.
Just wanted to point out, Manu is technically a free agent right now, so he's not on a squad. So that may play a part into your prediction, but just throw that out there.
Wait, what do you mean?
Wait,
Is he
Manu
leaving?
left.
No, he's on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's in
Is
Dark
he?
Slayers. Yeah,
What's his name?
Kumar.
Oh, that's him.
Raj Kumar Rao, yeah.
You see, why do people change their name so much? All right, my mistake. Victim, can you cut that out? Thanks. Mecca, what do you think about Dark Slayers versus macro data refinement? What do you see?
I hear what SV's saying, but I think that macro data with the addition of Staley and Rio, I think they have a better roster now. I think Rio matches Kaga. And then hold on, let me pull up there.
If Kaga shows.
If Kaga shows, this is Kaga shows. Good point. If
top lineups. If everybody shows.
If Kaga shows, I think macro data might have a slight edge at this point because Rio and Kaga basically cancel each other out. And then you have Chompy versus what? Typhoon. I think I give the edge to Chompy if he plays, Marine or LMG. And then you're going down the rest of it, and it's pretty even. Their meds are pretty even. I think Havoc's probably the better med, but Designer and Bonds have both been playing very well. And I don't think that Dead has been playing very well. So if Manu shows, they probably have the edge. I just think that Macrodata is more disciplined. Like when I've seen the SBs from them, and I think I SB'd them like once or twice. They don't have the bad habits of a lot of USLers, so it's not like you see Evolution come in and they're kind of bad players and they just do the same dumb shit over and over again. You don't really have that with Macrodata. They're all very smart, very good CTF players, and they've been doing VOD reviews and everything. And I think you will see that pay its dividends against teams like Dark Slayers. And then I think Exodus stays on Ripper. CTFers are obsessed with Ripper because they play heavy, and it's the same. It's like the most easy transition. You're just aiming AC or SC down the line. So I think Exodus stays, and I think Hearthbull will get better and better. Hearthbull used to be a really good player back in the day, and he still has really good aim. So I think that I give Macrodata the edge here, but I do think this is going to be a grudge match. They don't really like each other in CTF. So I think that both teams will try very hard to win this game. There's going to be a lot of bragging rights, even if neither of the teams will admit it. They definitely both think that.
You think Angelus is going to bench his friends for these new USLers on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that you recruit Rio to sit on the bench.
Yeah, I think Rio has to play.
I would
Staley
play Staley Med too.
Staley probably doesn't have to. Is he better? Yes. But that's more of the. I think that's where the friend can stay in place. But Rio, literally top killer in the league. I think him and Iso were 1 and 2.
And I'm sure his friends will want to also be benched so they could actually win versus Tyrael squad, right? Because of all the feud that they have. So yeah.
I don't think you'll get much
You think so?
disagreement from Desi if they want to bench Desi for Staley. I think that he'd be totally okay with that. Knowing Desi a little bit, I think they just want to win.
But I just want to quote Angelus. These are my friends, and we played for 20 years. End quote.
Yeah.
We'll have that ready for him at the end of the match.
Yeah. Or before. When he's giving a roster.
Yeah, this gives the 9:30 match, so we'll have that ready for him.
Oh, actually, Chompy just sent me something. I don't think Staley can play because he's technically on a cooldown from the roster switch. So if Dark Slayer doesn't allow NTs, then Staley won't play either way.
I can see Tyrael saying no NTs.
No NTs,
for that reason. Yeah. But Rio's eligible, so that's definitely huge. But Tyrael's I do see. I think Chompy, if you're listening, I know you're here. Go LMG, man. You could do it. Rangers not a thing anymore. It's good on certain maps, maybe even like that UD map where it's close range, where you go into buildings and just use your MP5. I want to see Yosh play something other than Nader. Maybe he can go AT. Lee is an AT, but maybe you can't really solo flank as a leader. Albert has to go off again. He's got to step. He did it week 1. I'm sure he could do it week 2, but you never know. On the flip side, Typhoon has got to step up. He's got to go better than 1 and 8s. I know he can do it. These guys aren't overpowering. If he sees Rio, maybe go the other way or just hold. You don't have to push that guy. He's gonna stream the shit out of you. And then we have Simp, aka Havoc. He's got to step up. Probably him and Iron 1 and 2 medics in the league. So if he plays his game, sticks to maybe even Fausto. And maybe if it's like a him, Fausto, Typhoon kind of deal, those guys stick together, let Kaga do his own thing on the other team. He can't handle his own. I do think Dark Slayers takes this one if the top players show. That's my opinion for that. Match of the week. I like it. I want to see this one for sure. So that's everything for our next week matches. Oh, go ahead.
One sec. The Chompy thing poses a problem for what you just said. Because they're kind of hiding Albert's playstyle. I mean, he's decent, right? He's played USL before, but he played LMG last game, which has a huge damage buff, right? Now you add in Rio, who arguably was the best LMG for the last 3 seasons.
Oh, that's true.
And then now you have Chompy, who you're saying go LMG. So someone can't play LMG, right? So who are you going to keep LMG and go Marine? Because not everyone can LMG, right?
I think Rio should LMG during the week. Yeah,
they got to figure it out during the week, like right now, tonight, tomorrow. Like see what meshes.
I think that's a huge problem because again, now when you switch Albert off, the damage isn't there for him. Now you're Marine, and again, if you pick Chompy at Marine, Chompy's been playing a lot of classes with damage buffs. Is he going to carry as a Marine? I don't know.
I can see. I mean, Albert's been Marine before. I don't think he will have a problem transitioning to Marine. But the Rio Chompy one, that's definitely like who do you want to have that power LMG? That's a fair point. But that's our recap. Did you guys have anything else you want to have on this recap, or do you have topics that you want to go over?
I just want to add one last thing for macro. From what I noticed, their medics are the only medics in the league that are able to land bio darts. Every other medic misses it. But for some reason, they're really good at it. From what I noticed during their SBs.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The med trank from CTF. That's why they're so good at it.
Yeah, it's essentially the same speed and everything.
Yeah, you see Fax uses them to troll. He shoots them at the other team. So that was funny. He's just staring at Kaga for like 2 minutes, just shooting tranks at him. Kaga's eating him.
Is Fax a plumber at medic now?
Yeah. He can still heal. He's got a heal button, but that trank, he's gotta figure that out. But yeah, anything you guys want to talk about? This is our open mic. Pistor, you have anything for coming week or in the future? What do you think? Anything?
Yeah, so this is gonna be directed to K-Dude. If Champion shows, who do you guys think TG will bench for Champion? Because obviously Champion is a game changer, and they'll want to play him.
So it's a little mailbag question. Your own mailbag question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I don't even know. Like they have 11 guys. Like
Let me see their
like,
lineups.
Who's the guy that comes out for them?
Let's see.
Maybe Nas. I don't think Nas shows all the time.
This is the thing. So for the last week and a half, Nas has been playing pub every single day ever since he lost on Sunday. So I think he's going to be more active. And
he got yelled at by Sav and doesn't want that to happen again.
No,
maybe.
Sav has said in the past in squads that I've been on with Sav and Nas that Nas is like always his preferred, like never bench. So I don't think it will happen unless Nas insists on it.
Yeah. Okay. So if Nas shows, he's in. Got it.
Yeah, so I think the only two possibilities would be Colossal or Eric.
Yeah,
And I
that's it,
think,
right?
and then I think Saf will fight for Eric to be
Yeah.
in the lineup. So
Yeah.
most likely it's gonna be Colossal that's gonna be replaced for Champion.
Yeah, Colossal he joined last season, and I don't think he's ever played with those guys before that, so that makes sense because Eric's been there forever.
No, he played with us a few seasons ago when we won on DX.
Did he? Wasn't that last season?
No, 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons? Really? Interesting. Okay.
If you're talking about the Sov crew, yeah.
Yeah. All right, news to me. Maybe just I don't know. I forget.
They're turning into Rom, acting like Fax have never played with Sov before. They have like 10 rings together.
True.
I mean, to tie that all in, why did Staley leave that team?
Probably didn't want to bench.
I mean, he got benched. Yeah.
BFFs forever, and then
Boom out.
Iron comes over and Fax switches to med, and now he's odd man out.
Yeah. So the
Unfortunate.
that crew.
And then he gets his revenge by
4
recruiting
over, and
Rio.
only three get that way.
They're falling apart.
Yeah.
Falling apart. Only 11 players they have right now too. They have 6 spots. So if you're a free agent, look for K-Dude to pick you up. You never know. We can show you the ropes.
Yeah, I see they picked up a revenge there, but I don't think he's played in a long time.
Yeah, he plays pub and stuff, but he also knows he's not going to start, so I don't think there'll be any drama there.
Yeah, his last season.
Even though he has like the 5th best KDR in USL all time.
Yeah, that's not bad. Any other things before we head out? You got anything, Mecca?
No.
All right, Mountain, you're good. Pistor, you're good.
I mean, that was kind of my question, but I guess the whole gym thing, of gym specking. Do you think some people brought it up, but if gym specs does ninja spec too, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I
Good
heard that too.
question.
I don't think Ninja's is as bad as Jim's, but you could argue that Ninja does have Vizlag sometimes. He's usually sitting around, like 150, 160 ping, so if somebody wants to be a true asshole, you never know.
Yeah, I guess he gets spikes, but even like I'll see Salve, I'll shoot a 40 at him, not even close to him, and he'll die instantly.
Canadian leg armor.
Yeah, like right now Jim has 249. I don't think Ninja's in, so I can't even tell what Inch has. But 249 is way out there. That's PJL is 290, and we all know he just shoots lasers at everybody. So it kind of sucks. It is what it is. Hopefully, you can fix that for Jim.
I remember Jim said in CTF that even though you guys see lag on your screen, he's also seeing us lag on his screen.
Yeah, that's got to be wild to see. Like, how do you
Yeah,
dodge?
he did get a VPN, so it should fix some of that, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I think that's it for tonight, right? That's our USL After Dark. I'd like to thank my hosts, Pistor, Mecca, Mountain, our producers, Victim, thank you for recording, and MP, if you are the one uploading, I'd like to thank you as well. That's it for tonight. See you guys next week at some point. USL After Dark.
I run the globe, put on the show like a Mars rover. Rocking a cold with a pair of lows like it's October. Moving the coast to the future flow like a star chauffeur. I design a flow when you not the owner. Your rock climb to the top is over, you not a soldier. I'm dropping boulders on top of shoulders. They tryna overthrow us, but first they gotta find a road to approach us. Notice, I ride slow with the forces like I'm the POTUS. Focus, and my scope is pointed at your neurosis. Rims on a Lotus, cleaner than wherever your soap is. But never take it personal, homie, it's just showbiz. Yeah, when I show up, hundreds of cars roll up. Spectators and all, like what are they gonna show us? I renovated the cars and it's obvious y'all don't know us. But stay tuned, cause we got something for y'all vultures. It's creative.
If you want it, come and get it. We always stay ready with a mic and a machete. Write it down, spit it out, take them thoughts, get them out. Music is a weapon and homie, we hit 'em up. If you riding with a show me and homie, just put 'em up. Cause music is a weapon and homie, we hit 'em up. If you wanna come and get it, if you wanna come and get it.